Hi YouTube, this is Mick from Mick is Bored and welcome back to my little series of painting purple men. In this video I'm jumping straight in as I've already drawn out the line work from my reference. It's gonna be a more challenging one, this one, as there is a face, hands, sharp posture and many shadows to consider. Like last time, I start out with the darkest areas and work my way towards the lighter. The effect of the blending will be very visible on this one, as there are sharper contrast between the darker areas where they meet the lighter. But the effect it gives is pretty good in my opinion. You'll see by the end. Now as you can see, the camera is still a bit shaky in this video, but this is the last one before I'm getting an arm to hold the camera. In this and the previous video, I was literally holding the camera with my offhand, trying simultaneously to keep the recording somewhat focused and also painting the piece. And I'm not the best at multitasking, but still I'm pretty happy with getting the recording at least this good under these circumstances. Painting these purple men pictures and recording doing it has taken much longer than it probably should have. Work has been very heavy lately, and that really puts a strain on having the energy to set up, get ready and record. The will to paint is always there, but having all this extra stuff added has really been holding me back when a hard work week have drained me of my energy. As I look at my recorded files, it shows that some of these clips were recorded back in April, and I'm editing this halfway through September. But these things take their time. Now we're getting to what I mentioned about the lighter and darker purple interacting. If you squint here, you can see better what it will eventually become as I start to blend it together. One of the challenging parts of this piece was the hands. I knew the hand pose was gonna be a problem when I saw the reference picture, but it tricked me. It tricked me into thinking I could just lay the light and shadow the same way and it would all come together. But did it end up taking a lot more than just light and shadow to make this look normal? I'm gonna have to get me a whole bunch of hand pose pictures, so in the future I can swap stuff like this out on a whim. Now, as I apply the lightest area of the skin, you might notice that the hands and face is still pretty much untouched. This is on purpose, as I kinda need a running start before I want to tackle those. They are very small and require a lot of focus and a steady hand to get it how I want it to be. But as I apply the light of the skin to the body, I use the same method of blending as on the rest of the body. Later on, I might use a glaze to put in some more subtle color variations, but right now I'm just getting paint down and making it stick. I knew from the start that this was gonna be a dark painting, but there needed to be some warmer colors too, which is where the floating table and the stool he sits on comes in. I decided to go for yellow for the table to complement the purple, but the stool had to be different. In the end, the stool didn't turn out quite perfect. And on a larger painting, I would have liked to add more to the table. Maybe some items on it, or decorations, or legs. I want to share a story about the other day when I went to my local art museum. I went because they had an exhibition on Belgian art and they advertised having pieces by René Magritte, a personal favorite of mine and an icon of surreal art. First of all, it was a scorching hot day, so I was of course dressed for the heat. But when I got to the exhibit, the entire thing was literally refrigerated. It was so damn cold in there. But straight ahead, first painting you see as you walk in, a beautiful Magritte painting of a flag against a wall. Then, as you look around, everything else is 1800s landscape and rural scenes. So I walk about, slowly getting a cold, looking for more modernist art, which I felt was promised to me. Now I do enjoy classic art, and the quality was very good, but I came from Magritte, and I refused to believe they would throw the headlining piece at the entrance like that and have nothing else. Now eventually it dawned on me that apart from that initial piece, the exhibit was ordered chronologically, and I found my way to the 20th century art. Now before I got to the other Magrittes, I did enjoy a lot of the other modernistic art. I'm pretty hard to impress when it comes to modern and contemporary. Not that I'm at all educated in it, I'm just an opinionated binger of art. Let's go with that. But there was a handful of Belgian New Realism art, which was something I had never heard of before. But it was very interesting, and I was very taken in by it. It has this interesting cartoonist expression combined with grey and gritty rural scenes. It's quite fascinating, and I did fall in love with a couple of the paintings. Also, and this might just have been me, but what is up with modern art museums and making their benches look artsy? Now several times I felt like having a seat, but stopped myself because I was not 100% sure if this was in fact a bench or a contemporary sculpture. Make the benches boring and plain, please. Now moving on, I get to the part with the Magrittes. But then I have to wait because a tour group of teenage students are having a Q&A about them. And this is with the weirdest irrelevant questions. Things like, what language do they speak in Belgium and what is Belgian beer? Now maybe I'm just an old fart, but here you are in an art museum, educated, interesting youth. At least talk about the art. But anyways, in the exhibit is a classical Magritte, man in a bowler hat. And this one, I forgot the title, but it was the silhouette of a man, where around him was a dull grey wall, and inside the silhouette was a window to a night sky. Very beautiful and artsy, and full of things to put meaning into. Not at all something that would need questions about language or beer. Next to it were some other Magrittes, less iconic but still good pieces. Now at this point I'm chilled to the bone. So I have to quickly rush out again and get some sun and warmth. I do go back in and go through the permanent collection, but that may be a story for another day. I did however get an annual pass, so I can come back anytime I want. And I do wanna try to make an active effort to visit more art museums and galleries. I kinda missed my chance to go see contemporary Korean artist Lee Gi-hun when he visited Denmark here in August. He was only here for one day and he had a live painting event, and I'm pretty bummed that I missed that. making these videos, I quickly feel that I run out of things to talk about. You can probably tell by the way I'm really reaching for it, but I'm usually not the most talkative person, so it is strange for me to sit and try to figure out conversation with myself, as normally I lean very heavily on what the other person I'm talking to is saying, to keep conversation going. I'm sure it'll get better as I make more videos, and they do say the first 50 videos are gonna be the toughest and most embarrassing and cringe. So I tell myself not to worry too much, and that I'll get the hang of it eventually. But until then, you'll just have to live with the fact that I can't talk to a camera, let alone a microphone. I do wonder how long it'll take me to get to 50 videos. I do have plenty of material to record, and in a few months I will also have plenty of time on my hands to do so as work slows down. But if I release a video every other week, it'll still take me 2 years. Now that sounds pretty long, but time has a tendency to fly by, so I guess it'll be over before I know it. And then one day I'll wake up and not sound like a 4th grader doing his first presentation on Zoom. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up for a while and let the painting do the talking. I finally get some work done on the hands and face. As you can see, I block in larger areas, just like with the body, despite it being so much smaller. And as that layer dries to a good surface dryness, I will come back and add more details. Hi guys, I forgot to record the finishing of this painting, but here it is. Details turned out pretty good, and I'm very pleased with it. Signatures in the corner, it's a bit hard to see, but it's all there. Painting finished.